Hi guys, it's Shreya here and welcome back to my channel Beauty and the Code. आज के वीडियो में I am back with some perfumes from SR Perfumes and here we have the SR Perfumes का bottle. If you're not aware, SR Perfumes is a dupe house in India and they are doing so well and they are creating so many amazing dupes which are proper designer dupes. The perfumes that you get around for 8,000, 9,000 and so on and so forth. With SR Perfumes, you'll be able to get them at around 299 rupees. 30 ml of these perfumes, the ones that I have, these are the 30 ml bottles. These are priced for 299 rupees. And if you want to get like a taste of how, a high-end perfume would smell like and you are interested in the scent profile for it, maybe you can go for a 30 ml bottle to test and try. Their 50 ml bottles are priced for 550 rupees and they also have 100 ml bottles which are priced for 899 rupees. So currently they also have an offer which is ongoing that if you purchase 300 ml bottles you get one bottle free. So that's a good offer, like buy 3 get 1 basically. And how you can place an order on SR Perfumes, you can either go to Instagram. I will leave their Instagram URL right here. Also, I will leave it in the description box. Either you can place your order by messaging them on Instagram, or second, you can directly use their WhatsApp number and you can WhatsApp your order from there. I will also share their phone number, WhatsApp number, everything in the description box. Also leaving it on the screen in case you want to see it. So I have in total 4 perfumes and I have ordered 100 ml bottle this time because I wanted to see how the packaging is, and remaining 3 bottles are 30 ml. So let's begin with the reviews. Before we do so, make sure कि आपने मेरे channel पे subscribe कर लिया है, you hit the bell notification and you follow me on Instagram. And now let's get started. So the first perfume that I'm talking about is Gucci Bamboo. Now Gucci Bamboo was released in 2015. So काफ़ी साल हो गए हैं Gucci Bamboo को introduce होकर. So the notes breakdown for this one is it opens up with bergamot, goes into Casablanca, lily, ylang-ylang and some orange blossom. In the base note, it has sandalwood, amber and Tahitian vanilla. The notes breakdown is pretty much simple for this one, but you can notice one thing, that this is a white floral, but it is not the typical kind of like a jasmine, tuberose wala fragrance. This is kind of like a very aqua floral fragrance out there, and it definitely has a yellow floral nuance to it. So overall, how I feel this perfume is to be, you take a bowl of water and just throw in some yellow flowers and white flowers along with its leaves in the water, and then एक जो भीनी सी खुशबू आती है which is like aquatic, which is floral, it's also green. That's exactly what this is. Also throw in some sliced lemons into it, so that kind of feel, a very fresh, zesty white floral feel with yellow flower nuances to it. Now it does have like amber, sandalwood and vanilla, but nowhere does it feel a sweet or creamy or something like that. Overall, this perfume is quite fresh and quite floral in its way. I find it to be super feminine. This is a very delicate, feminine, everyday kind of a wear for me. I don't see this to be like a very party appropriate or special occasion appropriate kind of a fragrance. I find this to be supremely safe for office wear. Like, you can just throw in this perfume in your purse and go about with your day kind of a fragrance, a very casual perfume out there. This also feels a little vintage in its way, like it feels mature to me. I don't see anybody in their teenagers rocking this one. Definitely it is meant for 20 plus and on. To me, this one gives me a slight bit of a vintage vibe. Like the moment I sniffed it and I used it, the only vision that kept coming to me again and again was Madhubala, somebody like heroine Madhubala wearing this perfume. So it did take me to 90s vintage kind of a feel, and I just felt that I have smelled this somewhere. So I When I was a kid, I used to sniff around my mom's cosmetics. So I did feel that, it has that vibe as well. It does not have iris note to it, so it's not particularly very cosmetic in nature. But this is something which a vintage cosmetic line would smell like, is what I'm trying to say. So this is a mature floral fragrance, best suited for office and casual occasions. And overall, like the projection, the performance is quite moderate. This stays around, like, consider one spray as 1 hour. So I put in around 6 to 8 sprays and got in around 7 to 8 hours of longevity with this one. This is not a very projective fragrance. It is something that sits close to my skin. And the sillage is also moderate for this one. That's why I said this is like a perfect office wear, because it's super inoffensive, and it's not going to disturb people around you. So this is a very classy, kind of like a vintage floral fragrance. Let's talk about the second perfume, which is my Burberry Black. Now this fragrance was released in 2016, and this has been a very popular Burberry fragrance ever since. Now this is refined more like a amber, warm, floral, fruity, patchouli heavy fragrance. And many people have like two opinions around this perfume. Some people think that this is more of like a dense, dark, syrupy, peachy fragrance, whereas some people find it to be kind of like a white floral, amber, heavy on patchouli kind of fragrance. To my nose, the latter one feels more appropriate. There is a dominating peach in here, but the patchouli and the amber and the overall floral nuances take over the fragrance more for me than the peach. So I'm of the second opinion for this perfume. Now this, I find the opening to be slightly sharp, just a bit sharp, especially because of the jasmine being on the top notes. Now this opens up with a heavy blast of jasmine, which is like sharp, which is strong, and it like marks the white floral territory kind of a fragrance. So this is a strong perfume right from the opening, is what I can tell you. It then moves into a rose and peachy fragrance, which is like the heart note of this. So peach also is quite prominent in this one, but also it adds kind of like a juiciness, and it also adds like a powderiness in the dry down. So the base notes is something which is like super powerful in this perfume. According to me, it has amber and patchouli. Both amber and patchouli are super duper strong, and they are like present in this perfume. You cannot miss feeling the patchouli on your face. So this is like a strong headed perfume, is what I can say. The opening is strong, then it goes mellows down a little bit with peach and rose, but even then the peach is quite strong, and then it has like a blast of amber and patchouli. So this is kind of like a non-linear fragrance for me. As it dries down, it shows different nuances, and I really like that about this perfume. I am someone who enjoys stronger fragrances as compared to lighter ones. So this is right up to my expectation of how I wanted my perfume to be, and this is everything. Now this is kind of like, it has a kind of like a dated vibe to it, but it also kind of feels very modern in its way. The rose peach combination has been done from years and years, but still this kind of feels a little bit unique to me, and it is super strong. So I like the way it performs on myself. I find this perfume to be feminine, and I also find this perfume to be, this is something that you can wear in the transition time. Like you can start wearing it in the daytime, and then you can maybe try overspraying this, and it becomes a very, comfortable night wear scent as well. And this is a perfume that will fit all occasions. Like this is something that you can wear casually. This is something that you can, oomph it up to make it like a special occasion fragrance as well. Then this is the kind of fragrance that you can wear daytime, evening, nighttime. You can also wear it to office. So this is like a multi-facade kind of a fragrance which is like universally flattering. Definitely I see like 20 plus wearing this. I don't see teenagers wearing this. It has a distinct maturity to it as well, and overall I just feel that this is, you know, a very potent fragrance out there. And if you're looking for like stronger perfumes, you may end up liking this one. This is a very nice kind of like a floral, fruity, amber, warm sort of a fragrance, which is pretty strong. Now coming to performance, around one spray gets me 2 hours of longevity, so the performance is really good for this one. So I put around 5 sprays of this, because since I said it is a strong perfume, you don't need multiple sprays. 5 sprays gets me around 9 to 10 hours of longevity. This is a projective kind of a fragrance. It keeps projecting for the whole day. And I have gotten certain compliments on this fragrance, like I wore this to office and some of my friends seemed to notice this, and they said that, you know, you're very like smelling very peachy and warm. So I understood that the opening of white florals has faded away, and now the heart notes and the base notes are doing its magic. So many people felt that it was like dry down was very beautiful for this fragrance. So I got the compliments majorly after wearing for like 2 hours, 2+ hours. Then I got the compliments. So I felt that the dry down was very appealing of this fragrance rather than the opening. And it does fill the room. This has a good sillage. So overall, like I said, the performance is good for this one. If you are looking for a floral, fruity, warm fragrance, you may want to try this one. The next perfume is from Creed, and this one is Silver Mountain Water. Now this fragrance is quite unisex in its nature, and this is a very kind of like a zesty, fresh, green sort of a fragrance which is quite aromatic. Now the opening for this one is quite citrusy and zesty because it opens up with some bergamot and mandarin orange. The mandarin orange is also not super sweet. It is kind of like khatta meetha wala combination. So lemon mixed with mandarin orange kind of creates like a zesty blast in the opening. The most interesting part of this perfume is the heart notes. It goes into this very beautiful kind of like a black currant and green tea combination note. The green tea in this is something that is super interesting to me because that just makes the whole fragrance kind of like green, very organic smelling, and very natural sorts. So I really like the touch of green tea in this fragrance. That mixed with blackcurrant brings in a very natural sort of sweetness and juiciness in this fragrance. Like, sometimes adding sugar in a drink kind of starts making it feel unnatural, like it is out of place. So that is the exact feel I get when the sugar is missing from this fragrance. Like, it is beautiful. It's a green tea with the natural sweetness of a fruit coming from blackcurrant. I really like that combination. Also, the blackcurrant in this is not very sweet and juicy. It is again kind of like khatta meetha combination. So that the journey of this fragrance, it's very beautiful because it maintains that kind of like zestiness and zing throughout the fragrance. Base notes for this one is pretty interesting as well. It has powderiness of white musk, which also adds to some brightness in this fragrance. It has creaminess of sandalwood, some petite grain, and galbanum. Now, I'm not very familiar of how galbanum smells like, so I can't really comment on that. But मुझे थोड़ा सा personally इस fragrance में ना एक सौफ का फील आता है. लाइक सौफ जो अपन खाते हैं ना, तो जो अपन जो खाते हैं वो सूखी सौफ होती है, तो थोड़ी जो फ्रेश वाली सौफ होती है ना, उसका मुझे एक नुआंस आता है इसमें. I don't know how else to explain this because this just feels kind of like a herbal tea to me, with some natural fruity juiciness in this. I find this to be very beautiful and a very gorgeous unisex fragrance. Everyone in your family can wear this and enjoy this one. The performance is good for this one. 1 hour, one spray kind of a longevity. This is something which is not super duper projective, but it creates a good scent bubble around me. If you're talking to me in close proximity or sitting next to me, you're definitely going to get a good wisp of freshness that just exudes from this fragrance. So you'll see that this is again a perfect office wear. And this I find very good to be worn in formal occasions. So if you're wearing formal dress or formal suits, I think this fragrance will go really well in those occasions as well. Overall, I just feel that this fragrance is super duper unique. And if you are into those unisex fragrances and you're looking for a freshy but a different fragrance, this one's for you. The last perfume that I'm going to talk about is Dolce & Gabbana, the one for women. Now, I purchased a 100 ml bottle just to see how it looks, because I only have the 30 mls from SR Perfumes, so this was a good change. I wanted to see how the packaging was, and I really like how simple and beautiful this fragrance looks like. The bottle is, the shape and everything is so convenient to travel with, so I really like everything about it. Now, talking about the DNG, the one for women, this one is said to be an amber fruity floral fragrance, and this was released in 2006. So again, it has been almost 20 years that this is in market, and for good reasons. This is a very beautiful, juicy, warm, floral fragrance with so many notes in it, but together it kind of feels like a very gorgeous fruit bowl. It has a mature vibe to it. It also sits powdery in the dry down, but the combination of fruitiness with the floral elements is something which is super catchy in this fragrance. The lychee, the peach, the lychee and the plum, these three notes, they stand out particularly to me as the most juicy elements in this perfume. This fragrance opens up with some zestiness, again of that bergamot and mandarin orange, but they are kind of like subdued because of the peach and lychee that comes into picture. The peach and lychee in the opening is something which is very, very dominating. It also kind of gives me a Delina opening vibe to this perfume. And the peachy in this fragrance is juicy, but also kind of is powdery in nature for some reason. So that's the opening of this fragrance. It kind of goes down into this white floral accords of lily, lily of the valley, and some jasmine. But again, these white florals are supremely blended with the plum note that comes into the heart notes. Now, plum is again a very kind of like a dark, juicy note in this fragrance, which kind of like ties the whole white florals together. Base notes has the warmth of amber, some vanilla, some musk and vetiver. Vetiver in this fragrance again kind of adds a slight bit of woodiness and freshness in the dry down. But overall, this fragrance is kind of like a sweet, warm, amber, fruity floral fragrance. This is kind of like mature, but it is also kind of like playful kind of a fragrance. So I find this very appropriate to be worn when I'm going out with my friends, like for a casual lunch, or I'm like going for shopping. I find this fragrance to be very appropriate for a very casual outing with my girlfriends. It is kind of like a sweet, innocent sort of a fragrance, yet it is kind of like mature as well. So I really like the vibe that this perfume has, and I've been really enjoying this perfume lately. Like, the scent profile is very easy breezy. I think it's super non-offensive. I like to wear it all the time, like it doesn't matter day or night with this fragrance. But yes, the dry down does go into a powdery nuance, so keep that in mind. Overall, I just find this to be quite comforting in nature, so I really enjoy this one. To the performance, around one spray, 1 hour of longevity. I tend to overspray this perfume to some extent because I feel that the projection and the sillage gets better when I overspray this perfume. So even when the longevity is kind of like 1 hour, one spray, I go overboard with the spraying just to create a more stronger scent bubble around me. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. If you did, do hit the like button. Do subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.